I want the Cleveland Browns to do well. I think they have everything they need to do well. And I think they will do well. And I think they're going to the Super Bowl. The Browns aren't going to the Super Bowl this year. They're just not. We should tank and we should go for Arch Manning. That's what we should do.
Okay.
After this draft, we're going to the Super Bowl.
The Miz just did what every Cleveland Browns fan secretly wants to do after a strong draft. He took all the pain, all the jokes, all the heartbreak, all the years of people laughing at this franchise, and he threw it right back at the entire NFL with one wild statement. The Browns are going to the Super Bowl. And the crazy part is, he didn't say it like a casual celebrity fan just trying to hype up his hometown team. He said it with full chest. He said it like a man who had already convinced himself this draft changed everything. And honestly, if you were a Browns fan, you know exactly why that kind of confidence is dangerous. The moment happened on the Rich Eisen Show, where The Miz came on to talk WWE Backlash, but of course it quickly turned into Cleveland sports therapy. That is what happens when you put a passionate Browns fan in front of a microphone. Rich brought up that famous miserable face The Miz made when Cleveland passed on the chance to take Travis Hunter and traded back instead. At the time, Browns fans were sick. The Miz looked like someone had just told him the season was over before it even started. But now, 1 year later, he is looking at the return from that trade, and suddenly his entire mood has flipped. Mason Graham, Quinshawn Judkins, Dylan Sampson, Casey Concepcion, and more talent coming into Cleveland. The Miz went from wanting the team to tank for Arch Manning to saying this roster is Super Bowl ready.
And these players that we have gotten from that trade, unbelievable. We have playmakers, we have blockers. Now we just need a quarterback. And here's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people are going, oh, Watson might be back. Get rid of we don't need him. I don't want him. I want Shedeur.
Here's the part nobody is talking about. The Miz's confidence is not only about blind fan emotion. There is a real football argument underneath all the madness. The Browns did not just add random names. They added playmakers, blockers, and young pieces who actually fit what the team needed. For years, Cleveland has had talented rosters that still felt incomplete. There was always one obvious problem that dragged everything down. Now, after this draft, The Miz is saying what a lot of Browns fans are feeling. The roster suddenly looks deep enough to compete if the quarterback position stops destroying everything. And that is where the conversation immediately shifted to Shedeur Sanders. The Miz made it very clear he is done with the Deshaun Watson experiment. He did not dance around it. He basically said the tire is flat, throw it in the trunk, and put the new one on. To him, Shedeur is the spark this team needs. And honestly, that part is what made the interview so interesting. The Miz was not just saying play the rookie because he is exciting. He was saying Shedeur has already embraced Cleveland. He has done the little things in the community. He has carried himself like someone who understands what it means to represent the city. And for Cleveland fans, that matters.
And, you know, you bring in Shedeur, which I don't know if that's even better publicity or not, but I mean, I look at him and I go, this guy has a star and a father that has been training him since he was a kid to be a star, to take with the pressure of what it is to be an NFL franchise quarterback.
This is where it gets dangerous, because Browns fans have been burned so many times by quarterback hope that they know they should be careful, but they still cannot help themselves. Shedeur Sanders gives them something they have been missing: belief. Not just arm talent, not just a draft story, belief. The Miz sees a young quarterback who was trained his whole life for pressure by Deion Sanders, someone who grew up around the spotlight, and someone who will not look terrified by the weight of Cleveland expectations. That matters because playing quarterback for the Browns is not normal. The noise is louder, the pressure is heavier, the fan base is desperate, and The Miz believes Shedeur is built for that storm. Rich Eisen pushed back a little, and fairly so. He basically said Shedeur still needs experience. He has to earn it in camp. He has to ball out. The team has to see how the locker room responds. And if you are the Browns, after everything invested in Deshaun Watson, there is a temptation to see what is left there. But The Miz was not trying to hear that. His argument was simple. If experience is what Shedeur is missing, then give him the experience. Stop delaying it. Stop wasting time. Stop trying to revive something that already feels broken. Let the kid play and find out what he is. This is where young players usually make a mistake. They think being talented is enough to survive the NFL spotlight. But the Miz's point about Shedeur is deeper than talent. He believes Shedeur has the personality for it. He believes Shedeur understands pressure because he has lived with attention his whole life. He believes Cleveland needs somebody who doesn't shrink when the city starts demanding answers. Sanders. That is why he compared the situation to quarterbacks who struggled early but eventually became great. The message was not that Shedeur is automatically Peyton Manning. The message was that rookie mistakes are part of the process, and the Browns cannot be afraid of that if they truly want a future.
Let's give Shedeur a chance to be a franchise player, because I feel, and I don't know about anybody else, but I feel he has taken Cleveland as his community. And whenever someone comes into Cleveland, you have to represent Cleveland. And I feel like he's been doing that. He does the little things around the community.
And then The Miz brought up Baker Mayfield, which hit a nerve for a lot of Browns fans. He basically said Baker had the moxie of Cleveland. He was the type of guy fans could get behind, a ride-or-die personality who felt connected to the city. Then the Browns moved on and brought in Watson, and everything since then has been frustration, noise, and negative attention. That is why Shedeur feels refreshing to fans like The Miz. He gives Cleveland a chance to reset the emotional tone of the franchise, not just the football side, but the identity side. Here's the part nobody is talking about. The Miz is really voicing the emotional exhaustion of the entire fan base. Browns fans are not just tired of losing, they're tired of complicated losing. They're tired of drama, bad publicity, quarterback uncertainty, and constantly having to defend decisions that never fully worked. That is why this draft hit so hard. It gave fans something clean to believe in again. Young talent, fresh energy, a potential new quarterback story, a defense that already has enough talent to compete. That combination is powerful.
We're sitting here talking again.
Yes, sir.
And I am bragging that the Cleveland Browns are the Super Bowl champions.
You know what? I got.
Like,
You know what? I got to apply. We got to give it up.
Thank you.
Gotta give. That's the level of delusion I have.
Not delusion. It's not delusion.
I love it.
The Super Bowl comment sounds crazy on the surface, but you can understand how he got there. The Browns have a strong defense, they added weapons, they added blocking, they added young legs in the backfield, they added receiving help. If the offensive line holds up and the quarterback play becomes even decent, this team can be dangerous. That is the entire argument. The Miz is not saying Cleveland has been perfect, he is saying the roster finally has enough pieces where quarterback competence could unlock everything. This is where it gets dangerous for the rest of the AFC North if the Browns are actually right, because Cleveland has been treated like the chaotic little brother in the division for years, but the roster has real talent. If Shedeur gives them confidence, if the rookies hit, and if the defense remains nasty, suddenly the Browns become the team nobody wants to deal with. They can run the ball, they can pressure quarterbacks, they can create explosive plays, and more importantly, they can play with the kind of emotional edge this city loves. But there is also a brutal truth hiding under all the excitement. If the Browns hand Shedeur the job and he struggles badly, the season can spiral fast. The AFC is not forgiving. The division is not forgiving. Fans are not forgiving. That is why Rich was trying to slow things down. He knows the team cannot just make a decision based on vibes. Shedeur has to show it in training camp. He has to command the huddle. He has to protect the football. He has to prove the veterans believe in him. Because once the real games start, nobody cares about the story anymore. They care about wins. Still, the Miz's confidence matters because it captures something important. Browns fans want a reason to believe again, and Shedeur might be that reason. Not because he is guaranteed to be great, but because he represents a clean start, a quarterback with swagger, a quarterback with name power, a quarterback who seems willing to embrace Cleveland instead of treating it like a burden. That kind of connection can change the energy around a franchise quickly. And honestly, The Miz selling the Browns as Super Bowl contenders is exactly why fans love him. He is dramatic, loud, emotional, and maybe a little delusional, but that is Cleveland sports in human form. 1 year ago, he was devastated over the Travis Hunter trade. Now he's applauding Andrew Berry like the man just built a dynasty. That flip is hilarious, but it is also very Browns. This fan base can go from disaster mode to Super Bowl mode faster than almost anyone because they've been starving for the right moment for decades. Here's the part nobody is talking about. Andrew Berry may have actually bought himself a new wave of belief with this draft. Fans were frustrated. The Watson situation had drained people. The offense had no clear future. Then suddenly, the Browns came away with a haul that made people rethink everything. That is why The Miz went so hard. He sees multiple first-round graded players. He sees depth. He sees upside. He sees a team that does not need to tear everything down anymore. It just needs the right quarterback to bring the pieces together. That is why the Shedeur versus Watson debate is not going away. The Miz made it louder, but he did not create it. Browns fans are already having that conversation everywhere. Do you give Watson one more shot because of the money and investment, or do you accept what your eyes and emotions are telling you and move toward Shedeur? There is no easy answer, but the Miz clearly picked his side. He wants the rookie. He wants the spark. He wants the future now. This is where young players usually make a mistake. They let the moment become bigger than the work. If Shedeur really wants this job, he has to make the decision impossible for the coaches. He cannot just be the fan favorite. He has to be the best option. He has to show Todd Monken he can run the offense, handle mistakes, and lead grown men. That's how he turns fan hype into real power inside the building. And if he does that, the Miz might not look so crazy anymore. The legacy angle here is massive because Cleveland is desperate for a quarterback story that finally ends differently. Baker gave them hope, then it ended messy. Watson was supposed to be the solution, but instead became the biggest cloud over the franchise. Now, Shedeur enters with a totally different kind of spotlight. If he works, the Browns don't just get a quarterback, they get a new identity. They get a young face of the franchise who understands entertainment, pressure, and culture. That's why The Miz is so excited. He sees more than a depth chart. He sees a storyline Cleveland can rally behind. So now, Browns fans have to answer the uncomfortable question. Is The Miz completely out of his mind for saying this team is headed to the Super Bowl? Or is he simply saying out loud what a lot of fans are starting to feel after this draft? Because the roster is better, the defense is real, the young weapons are exciting, the quarterback debate is alive, and if Shedeur Sanders walks into camp and proves he is ready, then everything changes. The Browns could either be setting themselves up for another painful season of false hope, or they could be standing at the beginning of the craziest turnaround story in the NFL. The Miz has already made his prediction. Now, Cleveland has to decide if it is ready to believe with him.